has insisted that the Commission blundered in tabling the report without immediately publishing the ruling of the Director of Corruption Prosecution. The party believes the Prime Minister's reputation has been tarnished.
That we remain focused and we are able to keep our eyes on the target, and as we achieve success, there are those who see themselves constantly receding to the sideline, and they have become desperate. They have become corrupted in their minds and in their thoughts and their deeds as well. We have a term for it, it's called bad mind. And when they see success happening, when they see the glorious international recognition being given to Jamaica, they are not able to stomach it.
However, Mr. Holness is of the view that the situation has presented an opportunity to review the anti-corruption framework and legislation to make it more effective.
This should not be taken in any way that the Jamaica Labour Party and government that it formed is in any way supportive of anything that is corrupt. I think that there is now an opportunity to make the legislation more precise, to make it more practical, and to refocus it on where the problems really exist.
Sandy Williams, TVJ News.
And the Integrity Commission is defending the sequence of events in the matter of Westcon Construction Limited. In a statement today, the Commission rebuffed what it called adverse comments in the public domain. This following the tabling of a report that recommended the Prime Minister be investigated for a possible prosecution and the subsequent release of a report saying there was not enough evidence to mount a successful prosecution.
There's been public outrage in the treatment of a report and a ruling involving Prime Minister Andrew Holness and Westcon Construction Limited. The ruling that no charges will be preferred against the Prime Minister was made from January, but only released on Thursday, a day after the report that implicated the Prime Minister in a conflict of interest in the award of government contracts was tabled in Parliament. The Integrity Commission, in a 12-point media release on Friday, defended its actions. It notes, the ruling of the Director of Corruption Prosecution in a matter where a report has been sent to Parliament cannot be communicated to anyone before the report has been tabled. This is so by virtue of Section 53, subsection 3 of the Integrity Commission Act, which states that until the tabling of a report in Parliament, all matters under investigation by the Director of Investigation or any other person involved in such investigation shall be kept confidential, and no report or public comment shall be made by the Commission or any other person in relation to the initiation or conduct of the investigation. It further states there is no provision in the Act mandating the tabling of a ruling by the Director of Corruption Prosecution. Notwithstanding that there is no provision for the tabling of a ruling, the Commission has taken the position that in the interest of full and early disclosure, such a ruling ought to be communicated to Parliament and the public advised. It adds, the report was sent to Parliament and was tabled on February 14. Confirmation of the tabling was communicated to the Commission on February 15. The Commission's review of the ruling having been finalized, instruction was given on the said February 15 for it to be published, and the publication was done on February 16. It is worth repeating and stressing that the publication of the ruling could not be done before or simultaneously with the report. It had to await the tabling of the report. That is the law as crafted by Parliament. The release says the Integrity Commission takes its task seriously, noting it rejects any assertion that there has been any misstep in the proceedings. In all matters under the Commission's purview, every effort is made to follow the provisions of the law strictly. The ruling of the Director of Corruption Prosecution in a matter does not change the content of the report of the Director of Investigation. They are independent in their operations. It concludes there has been strict compliance with the law. Adverse comments in respect of the Commission or its Director of Investigation are unwarranted and misconceived. and that the executive director of the commission has no control over the content of an investigation report or ruling.
And here's TVJ's legal correspondent Dion Jackson Miller with her take on the matter.
So the commissioners are relying very heavily on section 53 of the act, and if we could just bring that up. Now, this is a section of the act that says the director of investigations, the report from him has to be tabled in parliament before anybody else at the commission can say anything in relation to an investigation. Now, I am suggesting though that the commission cannot rely on this without also looking at what is said in section 3B of the act, and if we could bring that up, because that is a part of the act that says one of the principal purposes of the act is to enhance public confidence in these types of investigations so that they are dealt with in a manner which achieves transparency, accountability, and fairness. And I'm emphasizing fairness here because I don't think that the commission dealt with this matter in a way that you could say it is fair. When you look at the sequence of events, and we can bring that up very quickly, as you said in your report, Giovanni, the director's ruling was made on January 12th. The report from the director of investigation sent to Parliament on Monday this week, tabled on Tuesday. On Wednesday, the commission said they received official confirmation, orderly published, and it was published on Thursday. I'm going to quote the former or the current Chief Justice, then Justice Sykes, who said, in a matter, we are no longer in the days of the Minya, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. We have instantaneous communication. Why could we not have had the ruling tabled immediately after the report? Or an open line from Gordon House. We've now tabled the report. Bam! You click a button and the ruling is there, right, published. There is no explanation as to why it took 48 hours for the ruling to come out after the report was published.
Now, they also say that according to the law, the directors have to act independently of each other there, and that the executive director has no control over the content of an investigation. Now, how did that affect what happened here?
I think the commissioners seem to be confusing the issue of control and the issue of communication. No one controls the director of corruption prosecution, for instance. But it is ridiculous to think that you are in an organization and everybody is operating so independently that the executive director doesn't know what anybody else is doing. You're not controlling the different directors, but the integrity commissioners have a duty to handle and handle what is going on in such a way that the proceedings are, as I said earlier, fair.
And Dion Jackson Miller was speaking with Giovanni Dennis earlier this evening. Now, in the meantime, the National Integrity Action, NIA, is appealing for the Integrity Commission to quickly host a press briefing and come clean to the country over its handling of a conflict of interest report involving Prime Minister Andrew Holness. While the NIA noted that the Commission tried to explain its position in a press release today, it said there are still more questions which need to be answered. Among them, the NIA is asking, why is it that the Director of Investigations report dated October 22, 2022 was only sent to Parliament and was tabled on February 14th, 17 weeks and 3 days after completion? Why is it that the commissioners took over 4 weeks to read, understand and discuss and finalize its review of the 14-page document containing the findings and ruling of the Director of Corruption Prosecution that no charges be brought in support of the allegations made, including in relation to the Prime Minister? Now, still ahead tonight, former SSL